Hi there, folks. I want to tell you a story today about a very fortunate young man who had himself a granddad who who had not only the life experience but the willingness and an understanding of the value and importance of passing on life skills to your kin, to the younger generation. I call this poem Campfire Schoolin. A lad learns his reading and writing skills through books and attending various schools, and while I'm surely grateful for that, it ain't where I learned my rules. When I was just a young pup, Granddad took me out riding horseback. We rode those lonely trails all day, immersing in the beauty of the yak. As the sun began to give up its light alongside a lake among the tamarack, Granddad looked around saying, "This'll do. Get down. Strip off that buckskin's tack." I learned some valuable lessons that night. That mare'd carry me a long day. Rule one was serve your horse first, and she'll care for you come what may. Next, Granddad told me to gather some limbs. Scattered branches were on the ground. I grabbed just a few while he started a fire and said, "We'll need more. Look around." Hours later, when I woke with a chill, I would reach the stack of extra wood and toss some on the embers. Not having to leave my bedroll was good. Once the fire was burning strong and Granddad had caught a few fish, he showed me how to gather up pine needles and pile them under my bedroll so they'd squish. That lake trout with wild onions, plus the biscuits Cookie had made us a tasty meal for sure, over which we gratefully prayed. Our horses were watered and picketed, the cooking gear all cleaned up. Granddad and his pals set into storying, each of them serenely staring in his cup. I started to stoke up the fire, figured I'd light up the whole canyon. Granddad gently stopped me, saying, "Done cooking. Now this fire's merely a companion." He said life was simple and forthright, and the campfire was a good example. A man's got to know why he builds it. Then, on that desire, choose not to trample. There are three kinds of fires we need. We built it for cooking at first, but that purpose has been met. Now, it just needs to be nursed. Let it die down some now, son, so it can flicker among friends. A companion fire lends an ambiance, and to reminiscing and orating it lends. Later tonight or early morning, when the dew and chill settles in, we'll be wanting the fire's third use. For its warmth, we'll stoke her up once again. Granddad had asked two friends along. They'd ridden quietly with us all day. I believe that's where I began to learn to speak, only when I had something to say. Those three allies had adventures between them. They'd been collecting miles for years. As that fire gently crackled and ebbed, they began storying as respected peers. Something about crackling flames loosens folks some to jawing. Fact is, a campfire disarms inhibitions while ice between men it's thawing. I knew enough to listen and learn, though I was barely in my teens. Somehow I sensed that wisdom was flowing. Thankful for Granddad's shared genes. To this day, when I am blessed to sit in the company of old men, and they kick their boots upon a log, I recall that lesson and go to listening once again. When a man is running his mouth, no learning to him is provided. But if he'll just stop to hear a bit, the exchange is no longer one-sided. Granddad saddled up last fall, trotting out for his last ride. I expect he has fires to stoke and those camps on the other side. I could just see him up there, Boots up on a log by a campfire, tin cup wrapped by his gloved hands, jawing with old cowhands he'd admire. He's gruntin' and smilin' and noddin' some. He's dang sure listenin' and hearin' too, takin' in wisdom and passin' it out, carryin' on, doin' what granddads do.